Welcome back to today's final session. So at this point, we've gotten a history lesson and we've done some deep technical dives, and it feels like a good time to sit back and see how things work. That's right, it's demo time. Our next session features representatives from 3 Stellar Network anchors: Gbubemi Agbeyegbe, CTO of COWRIE, Gaston Cartier, Director of Products at the Settle Network, and Arkady Romanov, Head of Integration at Tempo. And they're going to show you how their products actually work. Leading the charge is Tomer Weller, Head of Integration at SDF, who knows a thing or two about anchors himself. Tomer, take it away.
Thank you, Justin. Appreciate it. So we've been discussing anchors throughout the day, but now is the money time. We've been talking about the technology, how to integrate, but now we want to see the end results. We want to see actual demos. So we have a fine selection of anchors. We have Gaston from Settle, we have Arkady from Tempo, and we have Gbubemi from COWRIE. And they'll be demoing their products, which are cover enterprise use cases, consumer use cases, different regions. We have South America, we have Africa, and we have Europe. And I'm really excited to get it started. So we're just going to go straight to it with Gaston from Settle, who will be presenting their anchor services. Gaston,
thanks, Tomer. Thanks. Hello, everyone. This is Gaston from Settle. So I will give you guys a small intro about our company and our product that is using the Anchor technology from Stellar. So I will share a short presentation and then go ahead and make a demo of the Anchor running on a few use cases. All right, so Settle provides payments, liquidity, and tech infrastructure centered primarily on the crypto ecosystem for companies that are looking to serve the Latin American market. We focus on developing compliant fiat to crypto operations and building products that ultimately give access to financial freedom. StableX. StableX is our product that allows interoperability between local currencies and stablecoins that may be issued by Settle or by other third parties. It's available as a standalone platform for final users on stable.org or as a B2B solution provided via SEP24, what we call the StableX SEP, or other types of integrations, which is the StableX Rail. Why we choose Stellar as a technology for solving these problems that we find between cross-border challenges regarding people that want to send money abroad or just making a payment to someone that is maybe far away. Stellar is the perfect case for the perfect solution for these kind of cases because of the efficiency. Stellar is super fast and inexpensive blockchain to use. Stablecoins, it's very easy and it's a native capability for Stellar to issue tokens. The ecosystem is great. There's plenty of wallets in different parts of the world, anchors like we do, and there's the Stellar decentralized exchange, the community. And UX, Stellar has been built with users in mind, and that is very important because blockchain is a great technology, but if people don't know or find it hard to take advantage of it, there is no progress that we can take advantage of. So why anchors? Well, stablecoins are the best solution for crypto volatility. Blockchain and crypto in general propose a very interesting approach for cross-border, for just moving value around, but sometimes volatility and speed is a big challenge. The anchors have been thought with interoperability in mind, so that's the main advantage in this case. And of course, in the case of Stellar, the SEPs, which are like a very good starting point to have things sorted out before going out live and understanding how these things work. So now we're going to see a use case for the ARST anchor, which is the anchor that represents local currency in Argentina. The SEPs that we used are SEP1, SEP9, SEP10, SEP12, and SEP24. And we're going to show the KYC and deposit flows. Just a minute. So here we have a use case that's based on the Vibrant wallet, that is a Stellar wallet that is mainly focused on the use case for ARST. And the way this works in real life is on the form of a mobile wallet, where a user enters and can directly add ARST directly to their balance by by interacting with their anchor. So this is how it works. A user goes to the wallet and taps on the add button. Here is where the magic happens. The wallet starts interacting with our anchor, and that's where the SEP24 protocol is initiated. At the same time, the SEP10 protocol is happening, which basically authenticates the wallet with our anchor. And a KYC flow starts for the user, where user enters personal data. There's an ID verification, front and back of the ID, selfie. That's a pretty standard KYC we use for our local currency fiat operations. Then there is this part where we collect some data from the wallet that may have already been entered by the user on the partner wallet, in this case Vibrant, which may be the first and last name. These fields are specified on the SEP9, and we try to pull out that information from the wallet to avoid the user to enter it again. We pre-fill it on the KYC flow. If there's any other information that's missing, like the occupation, address, anything that's needed, this is filled by the user on the interactive flow. We verify the mobile number. This verification happens in real time. So when the user gets verified, we start the deposit flow. Here, the user will enter the amount. In this case, in this example, the user is making a deposit for 100 ARST or 100 pesos. Here, the user will get like a summary of the payment that is going to perform. Then this payment is an order, a deposit order that is created into the anchor's background, and we provide the user with the payment instructions. So the user can go to their bank and make a wire transfer. Once the anchor receives the funds, then the tokens are sent to the wallet. Here is a small detail on the order. Coming back to the wallet, we see that the order that I just mentioned, order number 176, is in pending status. This is, of course, because the user didn't transfer the funds yet. So continuing with experience from a user's point of view, we see that the balance on the wallet in ARST is still 0 because there are no tokens sent to the wallet yet. And this is the user going to the bank, making the transfer of funds, all right? The user will be, this is how a user will typically make a transfer. He will send 100 pesos to the anchor. The user will enter the order number, so it's properly identified. The bank confirms that the transaction has been taken place. And after a while, the funds are received on the wallet by sending them through the Stellar blockchain and crediting them into their account. So in this experience, what we had just saw was a complete flow from scratch, a user that has just downloaded the wallet and went through the first experience doing a KYC in the wallet, interacting with the anchor, where the SEPs were initialized and the data was transferred between the wallet and the anchor. Then the experience from the user's point of view was just going to their bank account and making a transfer. And in the background, the anchor, once the payment was recognized, just distributed the tokens to the account that was sent by the wallet that was, of course, corresponding to this user. In the case this user wanted to make a new deposit, of course, he wouldn't have to go again through the KYC process. He will just start from 0 and only create the order for the deposit. So this was the demo for the deposit and KYC flow using the Vibrant wallet on the ARST anchor. I wanted to share with you also the other flow that is the withdrawal. Just a minute, I'm gonna pop up the screen. So in this other demo, what we're going to see is a withdrawal of BRLT, which is the token that represents BRL, that's real, the Brazilian real. In this case, this use case is a user that starts on the Lobster wallet on the desktop version. So this is what we are at. The user enters their wallet. In this case, this user is starting with a balance on their account with 100 BRLT. So what he will do is perform a withdrawal operation. And in this case, Lobster will interact with our anchor by sending this withdrawal transaction into our SEP24 endpoint. In this case, I'm not going to show the whole KYC flow because we are using an account that has already been KYC'd. So in this case, when the wallet calls the SEP24 endpoint for initiating the withdrawal flow, we already recognize that this user has been KYC'd and that the user can go ahead and create the withdrawal order. So as you see here, Lobster is going to start the flow. Here in this version, we have the user enter the amount that they want to withdraw in reais. we again show the user a summary of what they are going to be doing, withdrawing. The user here will enter their own bank account details, because in this case, we need to know where to send the funds to, all right? So in this screen, we are just seeing a small summary for the user to confirm that the funds are going to be sent to that account. Give the user a few warnings saying that the account has to be under the same name. And after the user finishes that part, he goes back to the wallet and confirms the transaction on the wallet side. Okay, so on this screen, what we are seeing is the user confirming the withdrawal. This is Lobster telling the user that there's been a withdrawal order that's been initiated through an anchor. This is the anchor's address, and the withdrawal is going to be confirmed right now. Here's the final screen, and now we see that the withdrawal, the balance for BRLT is in 0. Okay, so this means that the tokens have already been deducted from the Stellar account of the user in Lobster, and the rest of the flow happens on StableX side on the anchor. The user receives an email once the order is processed, saying that the order was successfully processed and that he will be receiving the funds into their account. This is a screenshot of the banking app that the user was using. On the same day, 16th of November, he received a TED, which is the kind of transfers that are done as wire transfers in Brazil, for 100 reais. So that concludes the demo. So if you have any questions, Tomer, just shoot.
That's awesome. Really excited about this, and there are several reasons why I'm really excited about this. When I talked earlier about our move from step 6 to step 24 and learning a lot from anchors we worked on in 2019, Settle was a big part of it. And I think Settle actually started in step 6 and then migrated to step 24. And you helped us understand what's the best way to address the concerns of an anchor in this API. So that's great. The other thing is that what Gaston showed here is interoperability at its finest, because both the Lobster wallet and the Vibrant wallet were using the same anchor endpoints. So in one integration, they got essentially any wallet in the ecosystem that supports Step24. So we've got a bunch of questions already coming in, but I just want to make sure that we have time for all the demos, and then we'll go into questions. So without further ado, Gbubemi from COWRIE, it's yours.
Okay, yeah. Hello, everyone. Hello, Meridian. I'm very glad to be here. My name is Gbubemi, and I'm the technical director at COWRIE Integrated Systems. We are a fintech company that enables cross-border payments using blockchain technology, and we're based mostly in Lagos, Nigeria, where we issue the NGNT token on the Stellar network. And today I'm going to be showing you how we implement these steps that achieve interoperability amongst anchors. And I will be focusing on step 6, which is the non-interactive method of initiating deposits and withdrawals. And I'll be showing what that looks like in a couple of wallet apps. Whilst I share my screen. Okay. So the key steps that are required to achieve interoperability for anchors most of the time are things around like currencies that give you the ability to exchange those currencies. That is mostly achieved via step 1. Banks and financial institutions being able to on and off ramp, that is mostly achieved with SEP such as SEP 6, SEP 24, and SEP 31. And things around KYC, identity, know your customer, know your business. The interoperability that allows each jurisdiction to implement its own local regulation. This is mostly achieved using SEP 10 and SEP 12. I'm going to go to Lobster Wallet as well, where we're going to take a look at the NGNT token here. I have a current balance of about 17,520 NGNT, as you can see. And we're going to go through the same withdrawal process we saw before, but using SEP 6 this time. So it's going to achieve the same result of a direct withdrawal to a bank account and off ramp, but it's using a different SEP, and we'll basically see how that works in Lobster Wallet. All right, so if we go to our assets, as you can see, the Lobster Wallet can detect that deposit and withdrawal is available. This is also achieved because of the SEP standards. Click a withdrawal. We can actually initiate a new withdrawal right now. So for example, I could decide to say I want to withdraw 1,000 NGNT, which is equivalent to 1,000 Naira. I could put in my bank account, all right? And then I can select my list of banks from the banks that are available in Nigeria. Now, everything that we are seeing right now is being served from our anchor via SEP 6. So we have an experience where everything is integrated within the same app, within the same wallet, the same Lobster wallet. Lobster is able to render its own UI over the information that is being retrieved from our anchor, and is basically able to give you an embedded experience. So this is one of the examples of the kind of thing that interoperability gives you. If we click continue, what's happening now is the wallet is contacting our anchor and in order to retrieve the account information that I gave to it. So the wallet is going to contact our anchor with the banking information that I input. We are going to contact the banking network to validate that account number and retrieve the account name that's associated with that account number. This is a feature of Nigeria's payment settlement system that also allows account number verification. This enables you to look up a bank account name, right? It's similar to Federation, but for fiat network for Nigerian bank accounts. So you can be sure every time that you have the correct account information and you're actually sending to the person who you think it is. It helps a lot in around things like KYC, around ensuring and enforcing local regulations. And as you can see, it's completely embedded in the wallet experience. Now, all we need to do is just initiate the withdrawal, having confirmed this is my bank account. This is my bank account name, how my name is stored at my bank account. And this is my account number here. Now, once we initiate the withdrawal, the wallet is going to send this transaction over the Stellar network. And basically, we have the confirmation where 1,000 NGNT has been sent directly to my bank account. So our balance of NGNT on this wallet is going to deplete by 1,000, and equivalent 1,000 Naira is going to end up in my bank account. In Nigeria, we have instant banking. So this will show up in my bank account in a couple of minutes. So yeah, all of this was achieved using SEP 6, and it just shows more of the interoperability And this, I think, demonstrates in particular how you can have an embedded experience in your wallet or in your service. And it also shows how we can have different form factors, but different user experiences, but still have the same kind of functionality. And the next demo I'm going to do will show a very good example of that, where we're going to use the COWRIE wallet, which is a WhatsApp-based wallet that allows us to send money between South Africa and Nigeria, and also anchors the South African rand. So this wallet, as you can see, works in WhatsApp. This is my WhatsApp web interface, and I'm interacting with my COWRIE wallet, which is my WhatsApp wallet tied to my WhatsApp account. Now, if we take a quick look, we could check my current balance in my COWRIE wallet. Everything here is denominated in rand, South African rand. So the balance that I get back would be 110.92 rand. And then it gets brief transaction history of transactions that I've done in the past. Okay. Now, what's really interesting here is we can have access to the same deposit and withdraw service that we've seen being used from Lobster Wallet, but also in a completely different user experience and a completely different form factor, which is like a chat-based interface and a chat-based wallet. If I go to, I take the Nigeria services, right? We have the option to send money directly from South African rand to Nigerian naira from a wallet straight into a bank account. So this is like the combination of so many stellar features put together to give you a seamless cross-border user experience. A couple of things that we see here. We have an exchange rate that is quoted between rand and South African rand and Nigerian naira. This rate is gotten by querying the Stellar network itself. This uses one of the APIs called Find Paths, which allows you to, first of all, find a path between any two currency pairs on the Stellar network, and also an exchange rate between any of these two pairs. This is all enabled by the Horizon API and also the Stellar DEX. And what we're seeing here is an implementation of those features to give you instant currency conversion experience in a user wallet. So let's try see what sending money to Nigeria looks like. We should remember that this is the South African-based wallet that holds South African rand as a balance. So I'm going to put in my account number the same way I did with Lobster. All right, put my account number in. And the wallet is going to return with a list of banks. If you notice, this is the exact same list of banks that we saw in the Lobster wallet. This is again served over step 6, whereby the wallet contacts our anchor, and then we return information based on step 6. So I'm going to select my bank again. It's going to ask me for an amount. This time, let me try, I don't know, 500, make it 500, right? So once again, we can see the same process where the anchor is validating the account details we sent it. So we can see the response once again. It's validated my account name, right? So it shows that, yes, this is actually interacting with my bank account. And then it also gives an exchange rate. If we're to send 500 Rand, the recipient is going to get 13,477 Naira. So once again, we can see that we can retrieve information from the banking network via our anchor that's being served over SEP6. So this is the same information that we saw in the Lobster wallet that's being returned back to the anchor. Now, unfortunately, I don't think I have up to 500 Rand in this particular wallet, but we could try do one for 50 Rand and then see basically how that works out. Okay, so selecting Nigeria services again. Send money to Nigeria. Right, put in my bank account again, 000.
Gbubemi, this is great. With your permission, I think we're gonna jump to the next demo just to make sure we have enough time for everyone.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, that's it. I would have loved to have shown you this transaction actually in my bank account, but yeah, in the interest of time, yeah, maybe we'll have to jump.
Thank you, Gbubemi. This is great. Gbubemi was one of the first SEP6 anchors that were live on the network, and he's helped us a lot in figuring things out. And I just want to make sure that everyone understands everything that you saw here is live. Actual money moved on the Stellar network into Gbubemi's account during this presentation, which is pretty damn great. And also the fact that the same spec was used both for a WhatsApp wallet and for a web wallet. It's kind of mind-blowing. So thanks for that, everybody. That's great. We're going to go straight to Arkady, who's going to show us how Tempo are doing step 31.
Hi, everybody. My pleasure to be here. My name is Arkady, and I'm head of integration in Tempo. And I won't be talking about end user wallets. And I wanted to show our use case, how we, as an anchor, show utilizing SEP31 to deliver money from end users to merchants and vice versa. So let me show my screen. I'm going to give short intro about Tempo and the EUR-T stablecoin, which we we are the anchor of the EUR-T. What's EUR-T and what's Tempo? So Tempo historically is the money transfer business for more over than 7 or nearly 8 years, and we have a huge coverage across the world, almost at 100 countries. We delivered money from Europe to any other place of the earth. So, and the stablecoin which we utilizing is EUR-T. And why EUR-T? Because it's licensed by Central Bank of France, and it's fully backed up by fiat money, and the merchant can be sure that if the merchant owns some amount of EUR-T, the one can always change it back to the real fiat money. So in the general flow for us as Tempo utilizing SEP31 is we have a business on the left side and we have the end users on the right side. And we can move money from end users to business and back utilizing EUR-T stablecoin and set of SEP protocols. Actually, it is SEP10, SEP12, SEP6, or SEP31. And how money flows, let me describe it on this diagram. So the use case I'm talking about is, for example, you are a merchant and you accept payments from your customers and provide some kind of service for this money. And then once you aggregated some amount of EUR-T, you can change it on the real fiat. So what customer does? Customer deposit the money, exchange the money like fiat through the wallet, through the bank card, or through the bank payments to the Tempo account issuing EUR-T for this amount of euro which the customer deposited, and send this EUR-T from root account to the merchant's account. Merchants get notification that the money on this on its wallet and can provide the service to the merchant, to the customer. After some time, when some amount of EUR-T is on the merchant's account, it can send it back to the root wallet, and Tempo will transfer the fiat to the partners, like bank transfer or a card or e-wallet. It's we support like the whole bunch of payment methods, and the whole integration for merchant takes like roughly 1.5 weeks for lazy ones, and it consists of as exactly as it described in the SEP 31 standard. So the merchant should issue the key pair. I will show it in the next slide. Set the trust lines with EUR-T token, and then get info how to make transactions, create the customers in our system, and we will catch up the KYC information which we already have about these customers, if any. And maybe the merchant should not provide any KYC information for making transactions. Then we provide the payment form for the customer to deposit the money. It can be bank transfer or a Visa card or e-wallet. Once we got the payment from the customer, we send EUR-T to the merchant's account, and actually that's it. Merchant have EUR-T, and it can withdraw it through any wallet which Gbubemi or Gaston presented, or through our payment solution as well, through SEP 31 or SEP 6. So from the, let me guide you step by step. Like let's say we have a new merchant and we want to onboard it. First of all, we have to issue the key pair, like stellar address and seed. Then we have to activate it and establish a trust line. And as you can see, it's just a matter of several commands. We can provide these CLI tools compiled or as a source code, it doesn't matter. So then the merchant comes to Tempo and provide us its public key, or actually stellar address, and we provide back the base URL where we host SEP 10, SEP 12, and SEP 31 endpoints. Using the SEP 10, the merchant will issue the GBT token. Then the merchant should know how to make transactions, and SEP 31 perfectly described this. The merchant calls SEP 31 info, and in the response, it can see the fee structure, it can see the methods of deposit we support, method of withdrawal we support, and also the minimum fields and so on. Everything is covered in SEP 31. After that, the merchant should create a customer and proceed the KYC of this customer. And if the customer is unknown for our system, we respond exactly as it said with needs info and provide the fields which we expect to provide to proceed the KYC. And if we know the customer, if by some reason the customer is already registered in our system by this email and we know about him or her, then we say that it's accepted and its ID is like this. after that, the merchant starts a transaction, just posting the request to SEP31 transactions and sending the required fields for the transactions to be made. And in response, we return some kind of mix of SEP31 raw response and SEP6 how link. This means that the merchant can show this link to on the payment form to the customer, and customer can make a deposit. Like in this case, we use the payment card to on-ramp fiat money and exchange it to the EUR-T. So the customer will see the payment form, enter the bank card details, click pay, see the consent screen and the successful transaction screen, or like declined transaction, it depends on. And immediately or roughly in 5-10 seconds after the transaction is proceed and we get the notification from the payment provider or the acquiring, the customer or merchant will see the exact amount of tokens. Here is purple because it's in staging, in testnet, but in real life, it will be like this amount of EUR-T on the merchant's account. And that's it for the merchant. And SEP31 helps us and helps our merchant not to use callbacks or any kind of like complicated notifications, sockets, streamings. Stellar already provides this for us, and SDKs also provides it. And the merchant can just subscribe for this account, which is the which is the merchant's account, and we'll get notifications once we send money to this account. And after this, it can be sure that the money has been delivered to the merchant, and it can change it back to fiat at any time, and the service should be delivered to the customer. And one of the use case which uses SEP31 implementation by our payment platform is the new Tempo website, which supports Tempo business for delivering money from Europe or other countries across the world. So, and these are the use cases which can be which can benefit from our solution. It can be a crypto exchange, license FXs, ICO, crowdfunding, hedge funds, P2P financial platforms as Tempo is, and HFT platforms. So this is it from me, and thank you. I will be happy to answer any questions, if any.
Thank you so much. Okay, so we have about 8 minutes left, and we've got a lot of questions, so we'll try to go through as many as possible. Thank you. All these were really great demos. And my first question is to Gaston. Given that you folks at Settle have a lot of experience in integrating with other platforms and other networks, I wanted to know, how's an integration with Stellar different from other platforms that you integrated to?
Well, it's been amazing. I mean, like starting, for example, on Stellar's case, focus in user experience in general, all the availability regarding documentation, material that the community provides, like videos, and something as that may look a little bit, I don't know, basic, as having JavaScript SDKs and RESTful API protocols, is something that on the fintech industry in general is not available everywhere. Typically, integrating to a payment network is kind of a headache, like using, I don't know, SOAP web services, plain text files, CSVs, FTPs, outdated documentation, boring, like, flow charts. And the experience with Stellar has been totally the opposite. compared to other technologies in the blockchain space. I don't know, don't want to be too extensive in my answer, but I don't know, you know, Ethereum, it's like you just go figure out yourself. There's a great community, but I think that the key role that SDF plays in fostering the ecosystem, the whole integrations team has been super helpful for us, and we're super glad to be part of Stellar's ecosystem.
That's awesome. It's amazing how far good documentation can go and how unobvious it is to have these. Yeah, especially in our industry. Gbubemi, so you showed your step 6 implementation. You also have a step 31 implementation. And for other emerging anchors out there, maybe you can tell us a bit, what's the difference between catering to consumers versus catering to enterprise? What's the difference in challenges that you've encountered?
Yeah, so the first thing I would say is there's a marked difference in the KYC. In fact, there's a term KYC, KYB to actually show how much distinction there is. For businesses, there are a lot more stringent documentation requirements in terms of what we're required to have on them, and also the jurisdiction where the payment is going to terminate also has a lot of the stringent requirements around documentation for businesses. Another thing is that businesses, as you can imagine, will have much larger type payments relative to consumers. So that also has a lot of, brings us to quite a bit of complexity and quite a lot of difference between handling consumers and businesses. And I would also say businesses are probably more impatient. Not that customers are not, but businesses, yeah, they will let you know about it.
Got it. Arkady, it seems like you handle multiple regions in Tempo. How does Step 31 facilitate working with different regions that have different regulatory requirements, different KYC fields? How do you reason these over these differences?
Oh, that's a great question, actually. And the lowest example is Brazil. When you send the transaction, and that it ends up that you need to send some more fields after the transaction. And actually, SEP 31 supports this. So you can initially, you can initially start the transaction, and we as a SEP 31 provider will accept this request and gives you the ID, and will deliver the, you can be sure that money will be delivered, but you have to check the transaction status, and when some money, some information, some piece of information will be required more, then you will get the response back in the standard way, and we will provide you which fields we expect to get more in order to push the transaction forward and get it delivered to the receiver side. So it's from side to side, and actually from country to country, we have to be careful, and we pay a lot of attention to this, but we take this responsibility and we pay attention to it, how we deliver money. And yes, it's but SEP 31 supports it, and it's great.
It's great to hear that SEP 31 facilitates that. And it's probably worth mentioning that Tempo was actually the first anchor on the Stellar network, either the first or the second. You know, the original compliance protocol was co-authored by folks at Tempo. So Tempo has been a really great member of the ecosystem ever since the beginning. So we have 2 minutes left. I'm going to ask one question to all of our great panelists, and that is, what surprised you when integrating with Stellar? What surprised you in a good way? What surprised you in a not so good way? We can start with Gaston.
Well, it surprised us that it was really straightforward, and kind of everything was already thought before. So I don't really have anything like bad to say about that. I mean, you would expect that, I don't know, that people wouldn't be so responsive with you, and this wasn't the case. So yeah, it was like a super good experience for us.
Great, Gbubemi.
So the good things that surprised us was speed, DEX, path payments, in that order. The things that kind of surprised us that we didn't really like were sequence number handling, and that you require a trust line to prepare an account. But I think that's probably fixed now. So those two things.
Okay, yeah, we're working on these things. That's great to hear. Arkady, in one sentence, we're almost out of time.
Okay, so yeah, exactly. The speed, the blockchain, and no callbacks to the merchants. Like, listen to your Stellar account, and you will get a notification there. Like, and you can re-listen it at any time. That's great.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Arkady. Thank you all. This was great. And I encourage everyone to join our Friday session on Bring Your Steps, so that we can discuss future steps, changes to existing steps, and so on. And